Alright folks, so tonight I'm finishing up my ATTESA maintenance project here by bleeding the ATTESA system. So what this is actually a three-part process. It sounds complicated, but it's actually really not that bad. So it's like I said, three parts. First part is you're going to just gravity drain from the reservoir down to the ATTESA pump itself. And then from there, we're going to have to go up to the front and actually turn on the system and bleed from the actuator itself. And then the third part is turning the pump on and off to burp fluid back into the return tank. So back here, that's exactly what you have, right? So you have the top portion is the suction feed that feeds into the system, which is I got it filled here, and then you have the bottom part here, which is the return part, which you can see is actually kind of empty. So I need to put fluid through the circuit in order to get it in there. So first thing you're going to do is fill this tank, I think to about 30 millimeters or about an inch and some change above the max fill line there. So I'm going to do that, and then you basically just go down to where the pump is. There's a little basic bleeder screw on there. You open that up and just let it gravity bleed itself. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'll meet you under the car in just a minute. Alright, so I am back underneath the car, and we're back where I was working with those hoses, right? And you see the little bleed screw right there. That's just where you just do a little gravity bleed right there. Yep, just open that up until there's no air in it. So pretty simple. I'm going to do that, and I'll be back in a second.
Alright, so for the next part, you got to bleed it from the actuator itself. That's that piece that I installed on the back side of the transfer case. But in order to do that, you have to turn the system on. So what you have to do is actually turn the, don't start the car, but turn it to the on position without starting it. And then you have to disconnect that little white connector right there. In order to get to it, you do have to take your kick panel off there. But yeah, it's simple as that. Turn on the car without starting it, and then just disconnect that electrical connector. That'll engage the pump, and then just go underneath and bleed it from the little bleeder valve that's on the top of the actuator. So I will be back in a second. I'll meet you underneath the car. All right, so sorry about that. I lied. I just went and bled the actuator. I didn't take a video of it, but it's very easy. Just like I said, disconnect that, leave it disconnected, leave the car in the on but not started position, and then just basically open it, let air and fluid out, close it, open it. You just kind of do it that way, and you'll hear the pump kick in, and it only takes a few seconds to get it up. So all right, now what you want to do is basically burp the system to get fluid back in that return tank, and so all you have to do is, here again, put the car back in the on but not started position, and then basically just connect and disconnect, connect and disconnect, connect and disconnect this little connector here, and that'll basically start and stop the pump to get fluid back into the return tank. And then I think basically you just got to fill it up to where it's I think it's like 5, I'll double check, but it's like 5 millimeters or something like that from the top. But I'll get working on that and then be back in a second. I'll show you what that looks like. So but yeah, just a word of caution here, just when you're doing this, make sure you're checking your tank in the trunk the whole time, the reservoir, to make sure it's topped off, so you don't introduce air back into the system. If you do, it's not that big of a deal. Just start the whole process all over again. All right, so we'll go from there.
So as you can see, the fluid's starting to go down from the top suction part, and then I'm starting to get some returned into the return part there. Just here again, just a few pointers. Like it's taking a couple times to do this. I mean, I think I must have cycled through the system about 6 or 7 times now. So sometimes it just takes a minute. So don't get discouraged by that. So, but like I said, just make sure you come back here and check to make sure you're topping off your tank, so you don't have to start all over again. So yeah, you just basically has to be like this line here just has to be about where that little clip is, and then that's about all you need there. So all right, back in a second. All right, so yeah, there we are. Like I said, according to the manual, the maximum allowable gap there is 5 millimeters. So that's pretty close. I'm going to do one more final QC under the car and check for leaks, and then I'm going to go ahead and take the car off my jack stands and check it on a level surface. Might have to cycle it through one or two more times, but I think we're pretty good. So anyway, yep, so that's it. It was pretty easy. Took a little bit of time, but wasn't terrible. So alright, buddy, have a good weekend, have a good night, and we'll see you next time.